Greetings and welcome to the latest edition of the Jacksonville Buzz. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton. Now, joining me in the studio today is Michael Matucci from Encompass Life. And his mission is to make the most amount of change in the least amount of time with the greatest amount of ease. And so, welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Delightful to be here.
Well, I'm fascinated at how you do that. But tell me a little bit about Michael and why you call yourself a truth and transformation agent.
Sure. Well, the truth. When I see the truth, we talk about the truth in our world right now. What's the truth? What's really happening? That's not true. This is. I look at truth from the cosmic truth to divine truth, and it actually says in Scripture that God is truth. So I enjoy bringing in the truth of really what's going on, or enabling someone to see the truth of what's going on in their world. And what also happens then, transformation. Like, you can bring people awareness. This is the truth. This is what's going on. Oh my gosh. But then what? Well, what are you going to do with it? Transform. Wow, this is what I thought life was. It's actually over here. I choose to be here. Let's make a transformation. Let's take what I've discovered and relook at it, recreate it, mix it up, and then form something beautiful from it. And everything that happens to us could go through a path of transformation. So other than like, oh, this is terrible, I'm going to let this go, I'm going to run from it, oh, this is over, this chapter is done. Actually, I embrace it, celebrate it, and say, wow, this was here to teach me something. It's here to bring about a blessing. It is a blessing. Let me see what that is. And then I empower people. And I do it for myself to create and transform something glorious from whatever it happens to be. Even the prickly and nasty and gnarly is all meant to be transformed into something beautiful.
So tell me a little bit more about Encompass Life, because you practice the quantum leap theory. I want to say theory, but actually it's almost therapy.
It's a technique we call the quantum leap technique. It is it looks from the outside something like theory or therapy, because we're talking just briefly, but if you sat in with us for a while, you realize that it's very different. So, the quantum leap technique is a facilitator of self-development, of growth, expansion on a much deeper level. It's a response to the chaos of our world that we're seeing on the big screen of life, but also on the inner screen. Look at the stress that people are dealing with. It's supposed to be close to 90% of a root cause of illness in today's society. And how many people's relationships are like amazing, 100%? Yeah. How many people's kids are just flourishing and reaching their highest potential? And how many people's businesses are going 10 times or 100 times better than they thought? Not many when you really stop. Maybe on social media it looks that way, but the reality is much different. So with the quantum leap technique, we empower people to make quantum leaps in their lives. Big, huge changes, fast and quick, but also things that they didn't think were possible or didn't really realize were going on, and be able to shift those. And we give people the tools to do that. So it's getting out of the time of the guru, which I believe, even though I study with gurus, it's done. The time of the guru is over. Many have fallen from grace. Many are just outdated. It's time for you to be your own guru. You have you have all access of divine intelligence already. Now, if I can empower you to catch that wave and cement that in you and forge your bond to reach that divine intelligence, well, then you're going to go create that change in your world. And that's the way that we're going to be able to empower global change.
And this could be, you could have a problem with your heart, your mind, your body, whatever. It could be a professional problem, and it all works for the same same way.
You can come with any and all of those at the same time, and the reason that it works is because we bypass this strategy. Instead of going to a therapist for your relationship and a parenting coach for your kids, going to your business coach or your lead generation specialist for your business, you go inside. Because caught that. Yeah. Because the outer is a reflection of the inner. What happens at the core being is what's being reflected in life. People are trying to change all this stuff. I'm going to get my strategy for this and change that. And You can do that, and sometimes it will provide some result, but it's constantly reflection. So when I go to the core level, the quantum level inside of us, and I create a change here, then it's going to show up in all areas of life.
No, we're running out of time, sadly, and we haven't even touched on half of this. But I know that you help people through videos, through making films. What are the subjects of those films, and how do you help them?
Well, truth and transformation is my mission, so it's similar in that way. So I started in the narrative space in front of the camera, graduated behind the camera, and then embraced documentary. I love showing the cases of transformation from the darkest and most hidden places. So I've worked in indigenous nations, and I've worked in the violent inner cities, and most recently in sex trafficking, to highlight the survivor leaders that are great examples of transformation and are on the front lines doing major shifts for their communities and for our world. And so I've done that through film. I have a TV series that I've created that I would love to make with the aligned partner of high integrity. And then I'm also writing a book.
And if people would like to radically shift their life, how do they find you?
They can come to Encompass Life and write me at Michael@Encompass Life. And we're delighted to empower people on their quest to create transformation in their lives and the lives of others.
Thank you for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
And don't forget, if you'd like to know any more information about Michael Matucci and what he does, you can contact www.encompasslife.com or iwannabuzz.com.